Have you ever found yourself worrying about your memory as you get older? You know, those little moments that can feel unsettling. Well, what if I told you that what you're experiencing isn't what you think it is? The central fascinating discovery of cognitive science is this. The memory changes you experience after 60 are not simply a decline. They're a sophisticated process of neurological curation, where the brain is actively choosing what information to keep and what to discard.
Just let that sink in for a second. Every time you've forgotten a name right after hearing it or walked into a room and thought, "Now, why did I come in here?" You might have felt like something was breaking, but the science is telling us something completely different. It suggests this isn't a bug, it's a feature. Your brain is becoming an expert curator, optimizing itself for a new stage of life. It's making a choice to prioritize a lifetime of wisdom and emotional well-being over the thousands of random details it used to absorb. And understanding this is the absolute key to working with your brain, not against it.
So how do we really wrap our heads around this incredible idea? Well, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to uncover the truth about your memory. Then we'll dive into your brain's new priority and introduce this really powerful idea of memory as a curator. From there, we'll get practical with a simple toolkit called the Intentional Encoding Protocol. We'll talk about why this all matters for the long game, and then we'll wrap up with a gentle challenge you can try this week.
Okay, let's start with the big idea that changes everything. For so long, we've been fed this story of decline, right? This narrative that our minds are just fading. But the science points to something way more elegant, way more hopeful. The changes you're noticing are part of an adaptive design, a brilliant recalibration for this new phase of your life. It really isn't. It's optimizing. See, for the first few decades of your life, your brain is like a giant sponge. Its job is to soak up a massive amount of new, often random information. It's a data gathering machine, just pulling in facts, faces, and experiences. It's chaotic, but it's totally necessary for survival. But after 60, its priority shifts. It's not about pure acquisition anymore. It's about intelligent integration. It becomes less of a sponge and more of this beautifully connected web, optimizing for what truly matters: deep knowledge, emotional richness, and the kind of big picture thinking that we call wisdom.
So what is this new priority exactly? I mean, it explains something you've probably noticed. How is it that you can remember a conversation from 30 years ago with perfect clarity, but you can't remember the name of the movie you watched last night? It's not random. There's a scientific reason for this, and it is absolutely fascinating. This right here, this gets to the heart of all that frustration. You see, our brains have different memory systems. On the left, you've got what's basically the brain's notepad. That's your episodic and working memory. It's for new arbitrary details, like what you ate for breakfast or a phone number you need to dial right now. And yeah, this system naturally becomes a little less reliable with age. That's where that feeling of slipping comes from. But now, look at the right side. That's your semantic memory. This isn't a notepad. This is your vast internal library. It holds all your accumulated knowledge, facts, concepts, how the world works. And this system, it's incredibly resilient. It doesn't just stay strong, it can actually keep growing. Your brain isn't failing, it's just choosing to invest its energy in its most valuable asset, your library of wisdom.
And there's another crucial piece to this puzzle. It's a cool phenomenon called the positivity effect. And this isn't just about trying to look on the bright side, it's a real neurological tendency. Study after study shows that as we get older, our brains literally get better at recalling positive and emotionally meaningful stuff over neutral or negative information. You know, think about a family vacation from years ago. You might forget the stress of packing, but you'll vividly remember the feeling of laughter around the dinner table. Your brain is actively filtering for joy. It's a powerful, adaptive tool, and it gives us a huge clue about how we can work with it.
So all of this brings us to the central metaphor for our entire explainer, a new and I think much more empowering way to think about what's happening inside your mind.
Just let this idea sit with you for a moment. Your memory is a curator. Think about a world-class art museum. A great curator's job isn't to stuff every single painting ever made into the building. That would just be a cluttered warehouse. No, their job is to carefully select the most significant, meaningful pieces that together tell a compelling story. Well, that's exactly what your brain is doing now with the gallery of your life. It's letting the clutter, the random names, the forgotten errands fade into storage. And it's doing that to make more room on the walls for the masterpieces, the lessons you've learned, the relationships you've built, and the moments of joy that define your story.
Okay, so if our brain is a curator, that begs a pretty important question. How do we work with it? How do we signal to this curator, hey, this new piece of information, this person's name, this appointment, this one is actually a masterpiece, and I need you to hang it on the wall. This is where we move from just understanding to actually doing something. We're about to open up a toolkit that gives you more cognitive control.
It's called the Intentional Encoding Protocol, or IEP for short. Now, this isn't about fighting your brain's natural tendencies at all. It's about leveraging them. It's a simple 3-step process that works in harmony with your brain's new priorities: positivity priming, elaborative encoding, and retrieval practice. Let's break down each one.
The first step is positivity priming. Remember that positivity effect we talked about? Your brain's bias toward positive info? We can totally use that. It's a simple ritual. Before you go into a situation where you need to learn something new, like a party or a class, just take 30 seconds. In your car, before you walk in the door, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just bring to mind a memory that makes you feel genuinely happy or grateful. By doing this, you're priming your brain, putting it into a receptive state where it's already looking for meaningful connections. You're basically telling your curator, hey, get ready, something good is coming.
Okay, now for step 2, which might be the most powerful tool in the whole kit: elaborative encoding. This is all about using that strong library of yours. You're basically building a bridge from a new, fragile piece of information to the solid foundation of what you already know. So let's say you meet someone new named Sarah. The name Sarah on its own is just random data, super easy for the curator to toss out. But if you consciously create a link, like Sarah, just like my favorite Aunt Sarah who made the best pie, you've done something kind of magical. You've taken that fragile new name and woven it into a strong, pre-existing memory. You've just given the curator a very good reason to keep it in the permanent collection.
And the final step is absolutely crucial for making that new memory stick. It's called retrieval practice. Think of a brand new memory, even one you've linked, as being written in wet ink. It's fragile. If you just walk away, it can easily smudge and disappear. So to make that ink permanent, we have to actively signal to our brain that this new information is important. And how we do that is surprisingly simple. The key here is the timing. This is what we call the 5-minute retrieval rule. Within about 5 minutes of making that link, you need to consciously pull that information back up. The science shows this is a critical window for memory. So, after you meet Sarah and you make the connection to your aunt's pie, maybe you excuse yourself, walk across the room and silently ask, "What was her name again?" Then you actively recall both the name and the link, Sarah, like my aunt's pie. That simple act of retrieval strengthens the neural pathway like you wouldn't believe. It's like putting a protective varnish on that new painting, securing it for good.
So let's quickly review your new toolkit. You've got the positivity priming ritual to get your brain ready. You have the elaborative link habit to connect new info to your deep well of wisdom. And you've got the 5-minute retrieval rule to lock it all in. And here's one more powerful tool, the Memory Curation Journal. Instead of a regular diary, try keeping a journal where at the end of each day, you just write down one positive thing that happened. This simple act reinforces that positivity effect, training your brain to scan for and store the good stuff.
All right, let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this is so much more than just a set of memory tricks. This is really about taking a proactive role in your long-term brain health and your overall well-being. And here's the crucial point. Using these intentional strategies is more than just a memory aid. It's a way you actively care for your brain. You know, your brain has this incredible ability called neuroplasticity. It can rewire itself at any age. Think of it like exercising a muscle. When you consciously use these techniques, you're giving your brain a healthy workout. You're guiding its rewiring process, keeping it flexible and strong. And that does so much more than help you remember names. It reduces that background anxiety about memory loss, it helps secure your cognitive independence, and ultimately it lets you fully maximize the joy and wisdom in your life.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've shifted our perspective and we've learned some really powerful techniques. So now, let's bring it all home with one simple, empowering first step. I just want you to take a moment and genuinely ask yourself this question. Knowledge is great, but action is where the real change happens. So how will you begin this week?
So here is your gentle challenge. It's small, but it's powerful. Sometime in the next few days, I want you to identify just one piece of random information you need to remember. It could be a new password, a neighbor's house number, anything. Then consciously connect it. Create a fun, meaningful, elaborative link to a strong memory you already have. And finally, commit to it. Use that 5-minute rule to retrieve it a couple of times. This single act is the perfect way to start feeling the difference it makes when you work with your brain's natural strengths.
So as we finish up, let's just circle back to that beautiful central idea. Your memory is not broken, it's evolving. It's making an intelligent choice to prioritize the wisdom of your life over the clutter of daily details. By understanding this process, you can stop fighting that frustrating battle and start walking alongside your brain as a partner,
working with it, not against it.
And the most empowering insight we've talked about is that you are not powerless in this process. You can make new information meaningful. By using simple tools like positivity priming and creating those elaborative links, you can translate those gray, arbitrary details into the rich language your curating brain understands and values, the language of emotion, story, and connection.
And so, this is the final thought I want to leave you with. You are not just a passive observer of these changes. You are the gardener of your own mind. You have the tools and the understanding to actively cultivate your cognitive vitality. By embracing your brain's new role as a curator, you can confidently navigate this chapter of your life, maximizing the joy and richness of the incredible memories you will continue to create for many, many years to come. Thanks for being here with me.